Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, Say What's Real TV. This review is for Kingdom Business, Season 2, Episode 7, Bed of Lies. So we open up the episode with Danita anxiously searching all over her office, tearing it up, searching through boxes, searching through files, got stuff just all over the place, looking for something. And she pulls out one particular box, and in the box was a stack of letters, and apparently what she was looking for was in that box because she said, gotcha. So Caesar, he goes in to talk to Taj and Rebel and Drew real quick to let him know that Erica has yet to fill that last spot she has on her Women's World Tour, but she's not quite ready for Rebel yet. And Rebel's feeling some kind of way, like, why are they not accepting me? I've done this, I've done that. And she's basically letting them know that she's ready to, make that move. And Caesar basically was like, look, we'll talk about all this later. He has to go get ready for his arbitration. So CJ and Danita, they have a conversation, and CJ tells her that she's worried about her and will she be able to do this special because she has the arbitration going on, all of this, and she cannot sing. And she says she'll lip sync like everybody does it. I mean, we didn't even hear about what happened last week when she made that mad dash after getting caught lip syncing, calling it a whole glitch. But anyway, I guess we're moving on from that. So CJ tells her that Mr. Great is expecting her to sing. That's what he's paying for, Danita and friends. So Danita seems to think that she has it all figured out, told CJ that her and Taj can get in there and go pre-record something, use some kind of old tapes, that they didn't need her to do whatever. And CJ also let her know that Fred Hammond canceled, and she basically told her, you're the producer, I'm sure you'll find somebody to replace him. So we see both attorneys preparing their clients for what to expect in this arbitration. Vi is telling Caesar, when we win, we can basically wipe the company out. Ren is over there telling Danita, everything is at stake. And each attorney is telling their client, do not be provoked by the other person, do not make it personal, and don't talk to them. And of course, once you hear this, you already know these two are going to do the complete opposite, especially Danita. So the presiding arbitrator comes in, she introduces herself, she tells them she's going on facts, that's how she's going to base her ruling. She realizes this is not a courtroom, but she expects them to respect it as such, and tells them to remain civil and leave the drama outside as she looks at Danita, because everybody knows Danita is a bunch of drama. So Vi, she proceeds to state the claim on how Caesar was left off any of the credits for the One Moment of Glory album, and how he found her at the church selling CDs for little or nothing and saw potential in her and practically made her a star. It hadn't even been a minute or two that went by when Danita decided she was going to interrupt. And then Caesar jumped in and they did exactly what I thought they would do. And that was the opposite of what the attorneys told them to do prior to going in here. So Danita said, since we're going to state facts, he wasn't there for church. He was in the bottom of the church basement going to AA meetings. So Danita went on to say that he was an alcoholic and that's why he needed redeeming. And Caesar was asking, like, how is that even relevant to what we're talking about? And quiet as it's kept, whether he was drunk or not, he still helped you produce and write the songs on this album. So you then had Vi reading Caesar's letter and Danita saying that they used to date. He used to be so in love with her and he's never gotten over her. That's why they're here. They said that his letter is just a love letter because he had baby all up and through his letter. Then she read her letter that she was searching for in the beginning of the episode. And Caesar said that her letter was a love letter. So it basically was her word against his word still. And then the arbitrator had to call for recess. So we get a scene with CJ and Taj, and she's practicing the family song for Danita's TV special. She tells Taj that he does have a part in it and he wants nothing to do with it. He's really not feeling that, and he's mad at his mom because she used to make him do that when he was a child. Taj basically said he didn't have time for that. He getting ready to get married. So CJ was like, well, speaking of that, can Essence fill in that guest spot? So Taj told her that she must be desperate, but had to let her know that Essence wasn't available because she was in Turks and Caicos getting rest per the doctor's orders. And Essence won't be back until the wedding. So all of a sudden, Rebel, she comes in, she says hello, and then she leaves feeling like she was interrupting them. So Taj comes up with this bright idea that he knows someone who can fill in the spot. CJ picks up on it and was like, absolutely not. Danita's not going for that. Like, why do you want Rebel to do it so bad? Taj, he goes into detail about the whole Erica Campbell Women of Gospel Tour situation and tells her, look, if you allow Rebel to fill in that spot, I'll participate. We can be a package deal. And he pretty much was putting the battery in her back, letting her know that you are the producer, not Danita. And she basically gave in. So I guess at some point off camera, Taj ran and told Rebel that she was going to be participating in the special. So she went and found CJ and told her she was letting her off the hook, that she don't have to do this because Danita doesn't like her. She doesn't like Danita, but she does appreciate what Taj was trying to do. So CJ basically shut all that down and told her, like, you know, Taj wanted her there. She wanted her there. She is the producer, not Danita, and that she deserved to be there. So after the recess, they get back in the conference room and Ren is stating that Caesar hasn't provided any kind of evidence other than a love letter. He had no contract, no agreement, no written promise. Caesar said it was an understanding. So Danita said that her daddy paid for everything. They have the receipts to prove it. And Caesar came back with the fact that he never said that he paid for anything, but he did write, arrange, and produce with the understanding that he would be acknowledged and compensated, and he did it because he loved her and she loved him. So it seems that Caesar got into his feelings because he wanted some answers. Caesar needed closure to what happened with their relationship. He said they were supposed to be getting married, they were going to have a child, but no thanks to her, that didn't happen. So he's asking her, like, what happened? Why didn't they get married? Why didn't the parents want her to marry him? And he wanted to know, is it because he had two moms and that wouldn't look right in front of the kingdom? And side note, Caesar, did you go and pay for your two moms to continue to live where they were living at? Because it's been more than 2 weeks and that lady told you to bring that money back. And we ain't heard a mumbling word about that. Like, what's up with that? But I digress. So Caesar, he's telling her, look, our child would be an adult by now. And she's like, that's enough. That's enough. And he said, can you just tell the truth for once in your life? So Danita, she's had enough. And she says that she's out of here. Because, of course, he's kind of spilling her dirty laundry in front of everybody. So they are all looking at Danita and she's sitting over there hotter than fish grease. And the arbitrator says this is a perfect time to end this and we'll reconvene tomorrow. So we go over there to Vivid and Rebel barges into Deck's office telling him that she's quitting and she means it this time. And he looking at her like, girl, please, like, you will be back. Like he really ain't having to do. He basically ushered her to the door like, you're kind, y'all just come right back. So before she leaves, she wants to know, did he have something to do with Danny's murder? And he says, well, if my life depended on it, I might have to do what I gotta do. But he tells her, no, he didn't. But if he did, he wouldn't tell her. So we see Caesar and Vi, they're talking and racking their brain, trying to come up with someone that can collaborate his story that he has something to do with Danita's album. So she's telling him basically, you need to come up with somebody. So we later see him talking to Taj. And Taj is telling him, look, I got to go talk to Rebel about not producing her anymore. So Caesar is trying to convince him to hold off and telling him, look, I'll chaperone and sit in with you and Rebel if that's something that'll make Essence comfortable. Taj says, no, she wants me to choose her, and I think that's what this looks like. And says that even if it had nothing to do with Essence, he is finding it harder and harder, no pun intended, to work with Rebel because that's how strong his feelings are getting, I guess. And Caesar is like, wait a minute, hold up. Like, do you really think that you and Essence should be getting married right now? Like, maybe the two of you should seek counseling, somebody private, somebody that you trust. And then as he's saying that, he gets this revelation and leaves Taj standing right there. So he hurries back up in there to Vi and tells her that he believes he has a witness. So we get back over there with Danita and friends, and we see two of my faves, David and Tamala Mann, and they chop it up real quick with Danita. and, reminisce a little bit. And Tamala was like, well, maybe we should, do something real quick like we used to do back in the day at your dad's church. And of course, Danita knows she can't sing because she don't have a voice. So she just deflects and talks about Taj's wedding and all that. And then she gets saved by CJ because now CJ is calling Tamala to come over there and perform her song, Change Me. And she did a great job. So it's the next morning and we're getting ready to finish up this arbitration thing in the conference room. Vi and Caesar, they're coming in, getting ready to introduce their witness when Ren was like, who is this witness? We don't know anything about this. So the arbitrator was like, a request for a subpoena came through late last night and I signed it. So it is what it is. I'm allowing the witness. Who comes in as the witness? It's Dwayne. And I'm like, oh, shoot, Dwayne is actually real. Other people can see Dwayne besides Calvin and Danita. So, of course, Danita, she is sitting there shocked. So she says something to Ren. And I guess she's like, how dare you go and get my confidant? So we get a quick scene with CJ and Taj. And he's trying to figure out what to get Essence for their wedding gift. And CJ was like, oh, that's a thing now? And wants to know what she's getting him. And told Taj, don't try to compete with her because you can't. So CJ says that she hasn't told anyone, but her and Malcolm got approved for an impending adoption. And Taj thought that was great. But of course, there's a catch. The birth mother wants both parents to be in the home with the child. And CJ says she didn't tell the lady that her and Malcolm are separated. So Taj wanted to know, will she ever forgive him? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. So this suggests that you told your family that he was the whistleblower. So does Danita know? But anyway, she says she doesn't know if she'll forgive him, but if she does, she may not ever trust him again. So then she says, how do you raise a baby with someone and you can't trust them? Taj can't even look her in her eyes when she says that because he knows that touched him all up in his spirit because Essence don't trust him at all, especially when it comes to Rebel. So then she suggests to him that he blow up a picture of the sonogram and put it over the baby's crib. And he liked the idea and said that he'll write the baby a lullaby and they can sing to the baby together. And they share a little cute brother-sister moment. So, child, we go back over there to the conference room and Danita is over there highly upset at Caesar for having the audacity to go and get Dwayne on her. Mind you, Dwayne never said one word, not one word, stood there looking. And Danita basically stood there and told on herself, admitted to everything, letting it be known that Caesar had everything to do with her album. And Caesar just was taking it in like, just keep on talking. Her attorney, Ren, he's standing in the background shaking his head, basically saying, I told this lady not to open her mouth. So she storms back to her office with Ren, knowing that she already done said too much and wants to know what do they do now. And Ren is like, well, we have to wait for the judge to make her decision. It will be final and there will be no appeals. He already know they lost because she done ran them out. So she wants to know what is his gut feeling telling him. And he tells her it doesn't look great. And if the judge rules in favor of Caesar, the damages will be more than what the company is worth. And she says, well, we can't let Caesar win. So Ren was looking at her with this smirk on his face, but I know in his mind, he probably was saying, there is no we, ma'am. You ran your mouth and caused your own self to lose. So then Danita says, I won't let him. I'm like, girl, please. So we go back over there to Vivid and we see Chief Ray going in there to talk to Dex. And he's basically letting him know that he has a problem because someone in his department is investigating Danny's shooting and trying to tie it with Raven's murder almost 20 years ago. And Dex want to know, well, how is that my problem? And Chief Ray told him, well, I'm going to make it your problem because me and you both know if I put vice on you, you can go to jail for a long time, for some years. And he called him a douchebag or whatever, like, what is it you need? He tell him, look, I need to see if you can eliminate my problem. Do you know somebody that can take care of that? So we go over there to Redeeming Records and Danita goes to see Caesar. And Caesar's like, what are you doing here? You must think you're losing. So she was like, you don't want to do this. And She says, look, I just want to tell you I did love you. What we had was real. Caesar looking at her like, yeah, yada, yada. And she said, like our child. So Caesar's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? So she says that I lied to you and I didn't, get rid of the baby when I told you I did. I had the baby full term and my parents made me give the child up for adoption, and you have a son. And of course, Caesar is standing there shocked and can't believe it. Like, are you for real? Like, why are you telling me this now? And she said, well, I just found out myself because my mom told me the child had died. And she lied. So Caesar was like, well, have you met him? And Danita was like, yes, I have. And he wants to meet you. He's asking about you. Caesar, still in disbelief, is like, most definitely. So this lady over here playing chess, not checkers, she tells him, drop the lawsuit and then you could meet him. Caesar is like, you are unbelievable. Like, is this your truth? You are not the woman I fell in love with. So after being mean and evil to Caesar, Danita goes and asks God for forgiveness. We go back over there to Danita and Friends special, where now Rebel is performing her part and Taj and CJ are looking on, and you could look in Taj's eyes and see just how much he cares for Rebel. So after asking God for forgiveness, Danita walks up and was like, what is Rebel doing here? Like, she's no friend of mine. And she seems as if she's getting ready to go snatch Rebel up. So Taj admitted that it was his idea, and Danita felt like he had stabbed her in the back again and asked him, like, what is it about this girl that, you so crazy over? So Danita was like, get her off my stage. And CJ told her, no, you asked me to produce it, so that's what I'm doing. And she said, well, we'll just cut it later. CJ said no. So then Mr. Gray, he comes up and wants to know who Rebel is and says she's incredible, so he's intrigued. He wants to meet her. So Mr. Gray tells Danita that she has some talented friends and that he can't wait to hear her sing. And she plays in his face and says that, she thought that she'll be just a gracious host and that'll be enough. And I guess he was like, no, ma'am, let me holler at you over here for a minute. So he basically got her off to the side and told her, don't play with him. He's the sponsor. He paid for Danita special, and that's what he wants. And told her if she doesn't sing, there will be no Danita special. So Taj tries to go over there to talk to Rebel once she finished singing, but Danita snatches him up and told him that this is not over. He wants to know, was he dismissed? And she said, are you? Giving him that look. So Mr. Gray, he makes his way over there to introduce himself to Rebel. Taj and CJ go over there. They congratulate her on doing a great job. So CJ, she walks off. So Taj is left to talk to her, and he finally tells her that he can't produce her. And she's like, well, why not? He says he has to go into the next chapter of his life and pretty much focus on his family. And you could tell she's hurt and feeling some kind of way about it. And she says, I get it. Family is always important. He tells her that he'll always be rooting for her. And it looks like he tries to go in for a hug, but she basically kind of brushes him off. And then you hear CJ calling him, I guess so they can do their song. And she was like, oh, go ahead and go. But looking pretty sad. So we see CJ and Taj, they start singing their song. And it flashes over to Danita and her oldest son. I guess she called him after she was asking God for forgiveness and invited him there. And he is just so happy, grinning from ear to ear. So Danita tells him that she still wants him to meet the family, but it's going to take a little time. And he tells her that's fine because we have the rest of our lives. So we then see Rebel. She's leaving and she's texting Caesar saying that she's going to be needing a new producer. All of a sudden, you hear this car come screeching up. And, of course, she's nervous and scared. And he's like, get in the D car. And she looks in the car. It's Dex. He got a gun. And she was like, all right. So she gets in the car and they speed off. And the episode ends there. All right, you guys, what did you think of this episode? We only have one more episode left. We're coming up on the season finale. I don't know why it's only 8 episodes. We still have a lot of unanswered questions. Drop down in the comments below and let me know what your predictions are for the season finale, your thoughts, your theories, conspiracies, whatever you may have. As always, you guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the finale. Peace.